Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sandra, and you're watching the Schwowin's Nest. My first project for you today is a thrifted little box that had apples painted on it. Now, while I did find it was kind of cute, it wasn't my style, so I'm going to give it one good coat of my DIY chalk paint in white. I'm going to take one of these long wood planks that you can get at the Dollar Tree and trim it down to the size I need. Then I'm going to give it one coat of black chalk paint. I'm using some of the Dollar Tree tumbling tower blocks to create a frame for the sign. I'll glue 3 across the top, 3 across the bottom, and then I'll put 1 on each side to make my frame. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I'd also love it if you would consider subscribing. I'm really trying to grow my channel and I would really appreciate your support. The last time I was at the Dollar Tree, they had restocked all of their acrylic paints. So I grabbed some burnt umber and some espresso, which is another lighter color of brown. I'm using the burnt umber here and just diluting it with some water to create a stain. I'm going to glue the blackboard right onto the back of the frame, and I had cut it to size earlier, so it's going to fit perfectly. Before I glue it to the front of my box, I'm just taking a chalk marker that I got at a dollar store. I don't believe it was Dollar Tree, but I could be mistaken. They might have this brand as well. I'm just going to be writing the word cider 25 cents on the front of this. And using a chalk marker makes it really easy to be able to switch out what I want this to say so I can change it for different seasons. As you can see here, I did leave the inside of the crate its natural wood color. I just thought it was a beautiful piece of wood and I didn't want to cover all of it up. And now I'm just taking some rough grit sandpaper and going along the edges of each of the boards and doing some distressing just to bring out more of a rustic look. I went to my computer and I designed a nice little label for apple cider, and I'm going to reuse a couple of these jars that I had used for a different project. I'm just going to use a glue stick and glue this new label right on top of the old one. Gluing on the little frame to the front of the box is the final step. I also created some faux apple cider by using a little squirt of my orange paint and diluting it with water. And I think this box and its little jars turned out absolutely beautiful. Today's video is in collaboration with my sweet friend Joyce over at Joyce Monson from This to That Creations. Joyce is a new channel. She's just starting out, so I would really appreciate it if you could go over to her video, which will be linked down in my description box. Give her a thumbs up. If you like what you see, please subscribe and help her channel grow. My second project for you today is using this old piece of wood. I think it was a deck board or a fence board, not really sure. Anyhow, I'm using this brand new stencil set that I got. I've actually had this for a really long time, but this is the first time I'm actually using it. So I'm going to stencil out the word harvest, and I want to show you something here that I also make mistakes. So I put the S and the T, which is perfect for the end of the word. And then I went to grab the next letter, which for some reason I thought was an R. So I went ahead and started stenciling in the R for harvest and then realized, you silly goose, it isn't spelled harvest, it's spelled harvest. So easy fix. I just flipped the board over and started again on the other side. Once I had the word harvest spelled correctly, I took my chalk marker again and just did a freehand happy word next to it, a little bit on an angle. Then I took my Craft Smart white paint pen and went over the letters to make them a little bit more bright. In hindsight, I probably should have just done that with the chalk marker because they ended up being a little too shiny, but that's okay. I'll just deal with it the way it is. I wanted to make the words stand out just a little bit more, so I took my black Craft Smart fine tip pen and just drew some shadow lines on all of the letters on the left side. The first thing I'm going to do to decorate is add some of this ticking stripe ribbon, some burlap ribbon, and do 3 separate sections. I was lucky enough this year that my Dollar Tree carried the little Hawaiian skirts. I had never seen them before, so I grabbed an adult one. And this is just a bunch that I grabbed and cut off. I think it's about 7 inches. I kind of pulled them apart so there would be longer pieces and shorter pieces. And then I tied it in the center, and now I've glued it right on top of the burlap. I'm going to be adding some pumpkins, some of my mini Sola wood flowers, some acorns that I picked up out of my yard. I also added some buffalo check ribbon and some ticking stripe ribbon that was dovetailed. And then I took the piece of burlap that I got from the Dollar Tree and I cut little strips into it like you see me doing here. And they have a little bit of a curve to them, so they added a little bit more dimension to this little arrangement. I just kind of stuck them in around where I wanted them to be, and I think this turned out absolutely gorgeous. I love this sign. My last project is creating a beautiful candlestick out of some Dollar Tree items and a couple of thrifted candlesticks. These are the squares that come from the Dollar Tree, and I cut them to size. I had to trim just a little wee bit to get them to fit into this little square box, which was also from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to glue these in and make sure they're nice and secure before I move on to the next step. I'm using 2 short candlesticks that are exactly the same. I'm just circling them with pencil right now to make sure that I get them in the right spot. This is what they look like. I love all the details. This is one from a previous project. I had painted it blue and then distressed it with some white, but I'm going in a little bit of a different direction for this project. What I'm using now is my medium thickness Starbond glue. It happens to be the one in black, doesn't really matter, but I just thought it would be good to start using some of my other glues as well so I can show you. What I just sprayed on is the accelerator, and that gives the glue instant contact with the accelerator. It just hardens it up really well, and within about 5 seconds, you've got a permanent secure hold. And I'll do the same thing for the second candlestick. I'm now also going to do the same thing to glue the 2 candlesticks together, one on top of the other. So this one will be at the bottom, the other one will be upside down right on top of the other candlestick. So what I'm doing here is just spraying the accelerator on the second candlestick. I'm going to make sure that they're nice and straight and then press the 2 together, and I've got an instant hold in about 5 seconds. I wanted both of these candlesticks to look like they were all one piece. So the one thing that's really cool about these glues from Starbond is that you can use the medium and the thick ones to fill in any gaps that might be there. So I'm just going about an inch at a time and I'm squeezing a large amount of the glue into the crack and then spraying the accelerator on, and that hardens it all up to be a nice solid piece. Once it was dry, I just took a little bit of sandpaper and just sanded off any of the glue that may be sticking out, but you can see here that it's a really beautiful, nice, smooth finish. In one of my previous videos, I told you I wasn't going to make you watch me paint, but I totally lost the footage of me doing everything to the rest of this candlestick. But you can see here that I painted it white, and then I took a really small chip brush and my mushroom colored chalk paint and just dry brushed all over the details of the candlesticks themselves. I think it turned out really pretty and it looks wonderful staged here with some fall decor. I hope you enjoyed these makeovers today and got some inspiration to look outside of the box when you're out at garage sales and thrift stores. You never know what you can find to make into some beautiful fall or any type of season decor. Don't forget to go down to my description box and click on Joyce's link. You're not going to want to miss her video. If you're new to my channel, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps YouTube notice me and they promote me more, which helps my channel grow. Thank you again for watching straight to the end. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Bye for now.